Hey there, YouTube. This is JT Picks, and today I got with me Josh Reviews. We're just gonna have a little chat about, HH in general and the current space and everything going on.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? JT, thank you for the invite. Love talking about CHH. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. Obviously, I'd probably put the Bible one, but CHH close second for sure.
I understand that feeling. I totally understand it. I grew up not being allowed to listen to secular music, right?
Oh,
And
dang,
I
yeah.
also, it was just like Christian radio. That was it. So,
KSBJ.
yeah, pretty much. Here it's 88.1, or like K-Love type stations.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I actually can look back and go like, that music wasn't bad because, they used to play Skillet once in a while. They
Oh
used to
yeah,
play,
bangers.
they used to play bangers. Nowadays, it's just like very radio friendly.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm
The
like,
downfall.
exactly. And it's like, I don't know if I rock with it all the time. So I definitely am happy that, CHH is such a thriving space, sonically at least.
This is just kind of my whole musical history summed up. When I first got into elementary school, my dad was someone that listened to a lot of classical rock. He was big into metal, just normal rock, grunge stuff. And so inevitably that got me somehow into Nickelback when I was very young. And Nickelback and Puddle of Mud were my favorite groups growing up. And then I think around 2010, I started really liking Slipknot and
Mm,
metal music. And then after that, I got introduced to hip hop through T-Pain's Revolver album, which is really hilarious in hindsight. And that led me to buying my first physical copy of a rap record, God Forgives, I Don't by Rick Ross.
okay, yeah.
And then I listened to a bunch of this secular rap for a very long time up until 2021. And I had this very convicting moment in my life in 2021 that just showed me, man, I can't keep listening to this stuff. I just felt that conviction in my life. And so I stopped listening to it, but I was confused. I was like, man, what the heck am I going to listen to now?
Yeah.
Because I really didn't have anything to listen to. And that's when I found the song Wilden by Lecrae
Oh,
featuring
wow.
K Few. And so that was my first introduction back into CHH. And I'd heard CHH prior because I'd gone to some Winterfest with some church people,
Yeah.
but I always thought it was corny. Like, I always thought the sound was corny. It was youth group rap. It was just dudes rapping fast and they weren't really saying a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But that song got me back into it. And nowadays, like, I would tell you, I actually don't like that song that much, Wilden, but it led me down the journey of just finding all this different CHH. And so it's been a cool path, and it's been something that I've loved, and I just am so enamored with the genre. But going to
Mm,
this Lecrae album, Reconstruction, I did see it. I love the album cover. It seems I like it when people put their face on the album cover.
yeah.
It seems like that's the trend nowadays as well. Like, you had it with Come and See with Tori Deshawn.
Mm-hmm.
You had it with John Keith on Grow Wings, and now you have it with this Lecrae album with Reconstruction. So far, the lead single, the Don't Lie song with Jackie Hill Perry, I thought that song was pretty good. I didn't think it was anything crazy. It kind of gives you a Spread the Ops feel, very trap heavy.
Yeah.
Just the feature adds a little bit more on the lyricism in,
Yeah.
because Jackie Hill Perry is obviously an amazing lyricist.
Oh yeah, I was watching an Lecrae's podcast earlier, and he had Jackie Hill Perry on a few weeks ago, and she was breaking down some of the bars,
Oh yeah.
and they are top notch. The thing with her bars is that sometimes you listen to them and you don't even realize it. When I first heard her verse on that song, I was like, eh. And then like now I'm just like, I gotta go back and listen to that. I mean, I always knew who Lecrae was growing
Yeah.
up, right? Because I heard him on Christian radio or whatnot. But the first time that I think I really started like listen to the full album was with All Things Work Together. And it was actually a pretty important
Yeah.
moment in my life because it was like I was wondering if I should just like ditch Christian music in general in 2017. I was like, I don't really like it. My cousin had showed me music from Ty Dolla Sign.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this stuff. Songs like X or Pineapple or what's the other one? I Love You
Did you like that
Better.
Free TC album?
Free TC, not so much, but I like Beach House 3, which is
Okay.
the one
So it's
after.
like the one that came after it.
Yeah. Yep. I love that album. I mean, it's got significance and memories to me.
Yes.
But like, I was wondering with all that, like, And the way Ty Dolla $ign was just doing all features so well that year, I was like, should I ditch Christian music? And then I heard my brother actually introduced me to Gavi,
Oh,
Triply,
dang.
and then I heard Lecrae have Ty Dolla $ign on a song. And I was
Man, that's
like,
some God thing.
what? I was like, this is the guy. Like, Ty Dolla $ign was literally like my favorite artist of that year. And like, the fact that Lecrae was on a song with Ty Dolla $ign, having him as a feature, and he was rapping actually, and I actually in the future I admire that he didn't make him like be not authentic to himself. Ty Dolla
Oh, yeah.
$ign didn't like go glory be to God or something
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right.
He was rapping himself. He just said, if you wake up in the morning, it's a blessing. I just bought my girl a new necklace. He was being himself, but he was just doing it in a cleaner way. And I can totally respect that. That's why All Things Work Together is like my favorite Christian album ever. Or my favorite Christian hip hop album, I have to
Heck yeah, man.
specify.
That's awesome.
Grow Wings just became 10 out of
Hey,
10.
yes, sir. I love that project.
I know.
We'll probably talk more about that later.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's gonna be but back to Reconstruction. Do you mind if I spoil something for you about Reconstruction?
Come on, man. Bring it on. What you got for me?
Okay. I'm a little bit upset because
No.
I got something spoiled for me. So now I gotta spoil it for other people
Okay,
too.
what happened? Who told you what?
The workshop chat that like Lecrae had a thing called Workshop where it gave you the 5 songs. I didn't buy those 5 songs, but somebody in the chat said that there's a song on the album called H20 and that one has the same exact beat for Diet Coke from Pusha T. The song produced by Kanye.
Holy crap, bro. That's actually, oh my, hang on, wait. Oh my gosh, bro. It does have so I actually bought those 5 songs.
Oh, okay.
And I did listen to H2O. And the more that you're saying that now, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the Diet Coke beat. That's crazy. It actually is the Diet Coke
and the
beat.
funny thing is, like, I don't love Pusha T, but my 2 favorite songs from that album are Scraped Off the Top with Don Toliver and Lil Uzi Vert and Diet Coke. And not because of Pusha's vocals, but I love that beat. So now that there's a Diet Coke song without Pusha's vocals and Lecrae's holified it almost in a way, I'm so happy I could take that other one out of my library.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think with Diet Coke as well, that was produced by Kanye West, if I'm right.
Yeah, it was.
And that was like one of the last songs. So I stopped listening in 2021, but I want to say that was like one of the last songs I heard from secular rap. And I've heard like some stuff through other mediums. Like whenever I watched the halftime show, I saw obviously Kendrick Lamar with TV off and a couple other joints.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Diet Coke, wow. The more you say that, I'm just like, that just blew my mind. That definitely is the Diet Coke beat for sure.
I was actually talking with Spiritual Lemonade the other day about Christian songs that have replaced secular songs, but not because it's like, oh, it's a cover or something, but just because it's better, period.
Yes.
And like some songs like that are God's Hand by John Keith, the Way Too Many Things I Can't Understand, that song, it replaces a song by Drake. And because it does this beat better. It's called Calling on You by Drake. And God's Hand is like a very similar beat. It just does it better. Like, I went to my library when I heard God's Plan and I erased the Drake song because I didn't need it no more.
And he's a pedophile.
That's what I always talk about, especially when like reviewing videos and stuff. Like, if you have a similar sounding song to another one, but your song does it better, that's all that matters, Hopefully, if you have 2 similar sounding songs though, like in the Christian world, like, hopefully what you can do is keep something that'll force the listener to return to your songs, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, it's a complex world and with music, and I'm not like, a professional or whatever. I just know that I like it.
That's a fact, dude. That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
I know my mom played piano, and she still plays piano. She's trained in it. But that's the one thing I wish I would have done is I'd have learned how to play a musical instrument of some sort. because I feel like the appreciation I would have for music would go up a whole nother level. Because one of my favorite genres is jazz, and so when I hear jazz music, I know it sounds good, but there's probably so much stuff going on with the way it's being played that a musician appreciates way more.
For me, jazz is like something that I have to be in a specific mood for.
Mm.
Like I have
The
to just
elevator?
feel like I want no, I have to feel like I want to relax to play
Yeah.
jazz, you know? But about the instruments, I feel you on that because yeah, my brother is naturally gifted in music. He can play piano by ear. He can just listen to a song and he can play it immediately on the piano.
Jelly.
Yeah, I know. I'm his brother. I'm very jealous. But what hurts is that I just love music so much, right? We have the
Hmm.
appreciation. I have an ear for it. Like low key, I wish I could be a producer. If I
Yes.
if I had that, I'd be with John Bellion in the studio, you know?
That's
Like
right.
also, I'm just cut myself off. John Bellion on the album. I know that one wasn't. He seems to be the flavor of the month in CHH
He definitely is the flavor of the month. There's like these artists like Mizo's the flavor of the month.
right now.
John Bellion is
3
the flavor of
songs,
the
2
month.
songs. Sheesh.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy about the Mizo thing is so I'm based in Houston, Texas. And you know, the Curb hosted Siervos Fest. And they did an artist showcase where you got to submit your record to the Curb. And they had judges who would perform, like essentially anybody got to perform at Siervos as the opener. It was 3 artists. And Mizo was picked like immediately by like all the
Wow.
people in that room. And so I'm wondering if like they know. Like I feel like the artists are in the know about Mizo. Like there's something there. I don't know.
Wow. I mean, I feel like her sound is very interesting. Like, cause she sounds like I don't know if you know like Megan the Stallion and
Yeah,
Sexy
Mizo the
Red.
Stallion. I've been making that joke for a minute
She
actually.
sounds like all the major female rappers just like
Yeah.
mushed together as one. It's crazy that she sounds like that. Like I was just listening to that song, or last week I was listening to that song on the Reach Records playlist, Dip.
Yes.
And I love that one because it replaces Sticky for me, which is a Tyler,
Mm.
the Creator song that features Sexy Red and Glorilla, people who Mizo sounds like. So, like, I heard the song Dip and I was like, yo, this is Sticky, but it's better. Remember, I told you earlier about
Yeah.
if you have similar songs,
That's
you
right.
want something that's better. It's better because at the end, it takes this whole, like, it does this beat switch where it goes into like a classic almost sound. There's no drums at the end. It's just better than Sticky by Tyler, the Creator. And that's another crazy thing. So, I mean, whew. But yeah, like another flavor of the month, kind of Madison Ryan Ward.
Yeah, Madison Ryan Ward definitely on that tour right now.
Yeah, she's and what's funny is both John Bellion and Madison Ryan Ward were on John Keith's album and now they're on Lecrae's album. That's such a funny thing.
It's almost like I don't know, dude. It's like it makes you think because whenever I see stuff like an artist pop up out of nowhere, I immediately go to their Spotify. I look at their recent release. I go to the very bottom of the page and I see what record label they were signed to.
Really?
Because that tells me like, okay, like how did I never hear about this artist and where did this artist just pop up from?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then Mizo, she got signed to Reach, I think, or something like that, right?
Really?
Or was it that she?
I don't know anything about a Mizo
Maybe she
and
didn't
Reach.
get signed to Reach. I don't know. That could have just been me making stuff up. I could have sworn though that I saw some news release that she got signed to Reach or something.
The last person who was signed to Reach that I can recall right now is Alexander.
Yeah, it was Alexander, but there was like some. I swear, like that'll be something we have to fact check. But I think Mizo got signed to Reach Records.
Maybe secretly.
Ooh.
I also heard that, well, you also know because you probably got the letter, that Swayze was originally going to be on the project.
Yeah, what happened with that?
So I had sources tell me that Swayze was cut from the project. So
Interesting.
they told me that his sister had said he was cut from the project. And yeah, maybe he'll feature on a deluxe though.
Yeah.
I would love to hear Swayze with Cray.
Do you think maybe because Swayze, from what I saw, he's not signed to anybody.
No, he's
He's
independent.
independent. So I'm wondering though if he has a release that comes out around that time, and maybe the releases overlap or something.
Maybe. I mean, I do know he was supposed to release a single today. I think
It did.
he did. He did.
Nick at
okay.
Night.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I heard. I follow a page on Instagram called Finding Sounds.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, love that guy. Sean, he's a great guy.
shout out Sean.
Yeah, shout out Sean. But yeah, CHH is in a really good spot right now. I love even that like Holland is gonna be on Reconstruction too. I don't know if you know who Holland is.
Yeah, I was actually gonna tell me who is this Holland person? I feel like I haven't heard who this Holland person is.
Okay, well, first of all, do you like pop music?
Big fan of pop music.
So then you'll like Holland.
Yes.
You need to go revisit all of Holland's OG music. In 2017, like I told you, that's when I really started like getting into all different types of music, but I was really also after the Lecrae thing looking for good sounding Christian music. Holland released an album in 2017 with some pop bangers on it.
What style of pop is it?
Dude, she does everything. Nowadays, she's leaning more towards alternative R&B. In 2022, she was doing like kind of a Billie Eilish type sound. It's very interesting. But recently, she moved to R&B alternative. She's working with Weathermen, the producers, the guys who produced Lecrae's "Die for the Party" single.
Really? Dang.
Yeah. They also did work with Andy Mineo. That's when I first heard of Weathermen. They did for Clarity and Family Photo.
I love
Oh wait,
Clarity.
no, not Clarity. They did
Not
Family Photo and Anxiety.
Okay.
And they might have produced more, but those are the songs they're featured on. I don't know,
Gotcha.
sometimes when the producers are featured on a song, even though they have no vocals, or it's a thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I wanted to ask quickly, because I know you review music, right?
Yes, that's right.
So I want to kind of see your process, because other people in the space like me, the Christian content creators, Christian CHH content creators, we do things like, or they tend to do things like reacting to songs. Spiritual Lemonade did start reviewing music, but he reviews music on a separate website. He still doesn't make videos about, his full-on reviews. He'll give his thoughts maybe, but not like me and not like you. But I want to know your specific process with kind of reviewing music. What do you do? Do you listen to it all the time? Do you have like papers set out? Do you make notes? Like, what do you do?
So for reviewing a project, I do listen to it a lot of times. I'll probably give it anywhere between 10 to 15 listens before I feel comfortable with my thoughts on it. Also, what I'll do when I listen to the music is I'll listen to it in different settings. So, and at different times of the day. So sometimes I'll listen to the project all the way through in the morning on my drive to work. I'll listen to the project on my drive back from work. I might take a late night drive and go listen to this project. I'll go listen to this project while I'm working out. And I'll just listen to it in all these different settings before I go to bed. Just basically everything to make sure that not one of my listens was biased. I want to make sure that my thoughts are consistent from listen to listen. A great example of this is the project Come and See. When I first heard that project, I actually wasn't too big on it. I thought the project was a 6 out of 10 in my personal opinion, because I felt like the project was very messy with the sound. Like it wasn't as cohesive sound wise. But then whenever I started listening to it more, I started understanding that the concept of the album is like you're walking through an art gallery and that you're being presented each individual piece of Tori Deshawn's life. And when you think about it like that, I think it takes away the problem of uncohesiveness.
Inconsistency.
Yeah, inconsistency, because sonic inconsistency, because you're okay with it having the different sounds now because it fits the concept.
Yeah.
And so I like listening to a project a bunch of times, 10 to 15 times, and I will listen to it in different settings. Now, as far as the note-taking aspect, depending upon what the project is and how strongly I feel about it, I'll make notes. So if I have a very positive review of something like this Grow Wings, when I make it, I'm writing down notes and I'm putting down like whole paragraphs about each song, talking about the very intricacies of each song, the sounds I hear and things of that nature. But if it's a project where I like it, but it's not necessarily like the greatest project of all time to me, then I'll write down maybe a couple thoughts and then I'll just move on and I'll just make the video. But then if, let's just say it's a project I think is mid or I don't think is that good at all, I'm not going to write down anything about that project or that song just because I just have my reasoning for why I think it's not good. Like, no, I'll give like an example. I hate the fact that I love this brother. This dude's a great guy, and he seems like a great guy, and he has the potential to make great music. Wolf. I was not a big fan of his recent album,
Me neither. Me neither.
but and I felt like it's just because he has a lot of potential. And that's another thing I guess I would say about the way I review music is I'm big on being a servant for people.
Mm.
And I don't think about like I don't even really think about my content in the way of content. I think about it as in I want to do something that is an extension of me that can serve people in the best way possible. And I feel like if I can point people to good CHH because of how impactful CHH was in my testimony, I want to be able to do that. And
Mm.
because I have a certain knowledge of rap music and a history in it, and I know the history of the music, I feel confident coming to people and giving people good recommendations for CHH and reviewing it in a confident way. And so even with my videos, like I'm very big on trying to help the artist. So like I might give a negative review of something, but I'll always give some sort of constructive feedback on it. And I always think that people can do better than what they can.
Mm.
And so that's kind of, I guess, where my heart posture comes from when I go into reviewing music is that, yeah, I write notes. Yeah, I listen to it a bunch of times, but I always come into it with the offset of I'm trying to help out the artist and I'm trying to point the audience to something. And so that's the way I think about it.
I agree, especially with like your point on being consistent. That is like for me, that's always been something I want with my reviews. Like, even if like
Yes.
I'm still doing this 5 years in the future, if that happens, Lord willing, I can look at an old review and be like, I agree with that. That lines up still. Like, my thought process is still like very similar. Like, that's how I want to be. I want to be consistent now and 5 years ago or 5 years in the future. I want to ask also this, and this can be kind of a spicy question.
Okay. Yeah, what's up?
I know for me, like, I have reviews that I've looked at and been like, I agree with everything I said, but I don't agree with my score still. So, do you have any reviews that you look at and you're like, yeah, I kind of regret giving that score?
Oh yeah, I definitely have that. And quite frankly, also if you see my reviews on YouTube, they've also changed. Just like the format, the way I do them has changed. Like if you
Hmm.
check anything I did last year, it's just like I turned on the camera, I just recorded it. But then I was like, you know what? I actually want to put more effort into my videos than this. And so I started making skits on the front end of them, and then just also like taking the time to edit stuff better and do things of that nature. But as far as like reviews that I feel like some of the going to this point, like a lot of those older reviews, I think that there's a subjective score to music and there's an objective score to music. And so
100%.
like so for example, like Grow Wings subjectively is my favorite album I've ever listened to. But objectively, is it like that? I mean, I do think objectively it is really that great.
Oh, yeah.
And I would say it's probably the best thing in CHH, but does it go past like everything else? I don't know. But like a project for me, I'll give you that I think subjectively is in my top five, but objectively I don't think it is somewhere along the way by DJ Mike LV and 350.
That's an interesting
Like
one.
I love that project so much because that's just the sound I enjoy. I enjoy that soulful, heavy sample based music. A project that was in that vein where I gave it a 6 out of 10 because of how long I just thought it was too long was Kid Prince's project, The Promise Stands.
I'm not familiar with Kid
tap
Prince.
in with Jet. Tap in with Jet. He is an awesome dude, and he's like genuinely one of the most. He is the most underrated rapper in CHH, in my opinion. He's somebody that should be working with Mike LV and having like his own project with. I'm not even. He's that good.
Mm,
I feel strongly about my brother Jeff. That project I gave a 6 out of 10, but I think subjectively I like that project a lot more, and I think it's grown on me, and I give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Another project that I've listened to and I've said it's kind of grown on me or it's got worse on me. The project, Does Anyone Know You're Going This Way 3 by 350? That project has grown on me a lot. I
okay.
love that project.
Yeah, I had the same kind of revelation with 350s. Love You Divine.
Oh yeah.
I originally gave that project a 5 on Instagram. And then, like, a few years later, I was like, you know what? This project isn't that bad. It's a 7. So, like, I do that a lot. Like, one of the videos I made for the Reach Records playlist for I think it's 2023, the last one they did. I think I gave it like a 3 out of 10. I gave the one before a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
At like, their 2019 was the best.
It's peak.
And
Nothing
then
beats
it kept honestly going downhill. And like, there's honestly a little part of me that like, I wish they watched me, and maybe that's why, but there's like this little part of me that feels like I was being way too rough. And like, maybe that's why they took a break on the 2024.
Yeah.
I know that's not the case, but it still feels like that. But like, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at the 2023 playlist and my review for it, and I'm like, okay, I agree with my thoughts, but the score was too rough. Maybe I could give like a 4 or 5. Like, I don't know about a 3. Or 3.5.
I'd give it a 3. I'd give it
Yeah. Do you think that this year's playlist was a step in the right direction?
Oh man, I think this is a great conversation. Let's talk about the Reach Records playlist.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of this playlist this year. I actually
Really?
think I am really not a fan of this playlist. And I think that there's a bigger issue with it. And this is this is what I think the solution for the playlist needs to be. I think that there needs to be an artist outside of Reach Records that hosts the playlist and is responsible for making the playlist every year.
That's
And
not a bad idea.
And they need to make that artist the curator for it. And it doesn't need to be like a DJ, like DJ Mike LV, or a producer. I mean, I guess it could be, but it really needs to be someone like a No Big Deal. Like they say, hey, No Big Deal. We would love it if we collaborated with you and you made this playlist. And then he's responsible for getting a whole thing put together. I just think that'd be a dope idea. Because the thing is, I just think it has too much. I think Reach Records just gets in its own way, and they play their label game way too strong. And so what they'll do is they'll bloat out records insane to where they're way too long, or they'll play the tropes and they'll be like, we gotta have a track with all the female rappers on it. We gotta have a track with, with Not Clyde and Rua, right?
Yeah.
We gotta have like that wonky track. We gotta have the reggaeton track. We gotta have the what is it?
The one at
the Afrobeat track.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you see
what's
what I'm saying?
An Afrobeat track?
I don't even remember, but like it's like going to the last playlist there for sure was.
Oh yeah, that was Desire, the last one.
Yeah, Desire, yes. But my point being, just with like the Reach Records playlist in general over the last 2 years, because I have not been a fan of the playlist the last 2 years, is I just think that they're too interested in. They should be interested. I mean, it's their record label.
No,
in playing the industry games, but I just think they gotta give it to somebody outside of the record label to make it.
What do you think it should be like? More lyrical or more focused on something? That there should be like a narrative? What's missing?
And it could be that. I didn't even think about it from the thematic standpoint. I'm just thinking about it from like the overall song quality standpoint. Like, for example, throwing Mizo, like if you ask me on that song Dip, I do not like Mizo's part on that song, to be honest. And I think about Big Breeze's part on that song. Big Breeze's part on that song is like the best part of that song, in my opinion. Like, okay. I am mind blown that beat did not ride out longer and that they just basically gave him 40 seconds. And so it felt like it was just kind of thrown together. And so I think maybe just even having a little bit more intentionality and just increasing the general quality of the music.
So, you know what's the funny thing there? Like, I've seen actually that reaction with Mizo, right? I know somebody on Discord, and like, he's like, Mizo's verse sucked. And then he was like, I forgot. He just said something like, no, it's bad, it's trash, or whatever. And it's funny because you have that opinion, and then like, you have the opposite. I loved that verse. But it's just funny to see how it's like one or the other. It's not really in between. It's you either didn't really like it or you really did like it.
And that's funny. Mizo, don't get me wrong, Mizo's amazing. I think Mizo's hard. Her music is great, and she does in general a good job. I just think on that particular verse, like dip me in the water, like even like I don't know, there's something about that delivery where I'm like, I don't know, I just didn't like it that much. And maybe it's
Mm.
because it reminds me too much of Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, but I feel like that was the point with that one.
And maybe it was, yeah. Very
Yeah,
true.
I feel like this playlist was a step in the right direction. I still don't think it was perfect. Like you mentioned the track with like the all-female rappers. Like I wasn't a fan of that one. I didn't like it because I was like I even wrote down in my notes. I was like, "Come on, I know these girls can do better." It was like we've heard this beat from them. Do something else. And then like I did like the one with Rua and not Clyde. I actually liked the beat for that one. And the rapping's good too. There's just like I think the best way to describe it is that the playlist isn't like not like absolutely amazing or like nothing you've ever heard before. It's nothing like that.
Hmm.
It's just passable. It's good.
Yeah,
That's it.
I would agree with you. I do think this playlist is a step in the right direction. I like the fact that they brought in more outside artists, but I think and this kind of going back to what I was saying earlier. I think the issue is not that they're bringing in the outside artist, but that it is being controlled by like the creative direction of it is being controlled by Reach Records, and it just shouldn't be.
Hmm.
Because I think if it isn't, I think the playlist is just gonna go crazy. Like, because imagine if you announce every single year, you're like, "Yo, John Keith is making the playlist." I don't know. I'd be really
That's
excited for that.
that really is an interesting idea. If like a name, like their name was held responsible. I get what you're saying. That's actually a good idea. I mean, I just felt like in the end though that the playlist is playing it. This is the best word I've found for it so far. It's playing it safe.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
agree.
and like that's honestly, there's this crazy dichotomy between playing it safe and it's a summer playlist. You do kind of want it to be safe. You want something that if you
Yeah, for
put it on
sure.
the aux, like it's inoffensive. You want something that it's like, okay, yeah, sure, pass the time, whatever. Like that's fine. I can listen to it. Like an example, the song Work Together on it. I don't know any of the artists on it. I think it's like let me see. Let me see the name. It was
Hmm.
Coca and Jay Brown. I really liked like there was this almost gospel element in the song at first. And then it goes into Jersey Club, the doom 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 doom
Yeah, yeah.
sound and it's like, why? That's just so like I've heard it 500 million times. I don't want another Jersey Club song. I really like the gospel element and I like the more fast-pacedness of the track. I like that and I love the vocals in the song and everything else. I just don't love the Jersey Club. Like, is it offensive? Am I gonna skip it? Am I gonna say no? I don't want to hear this song. No, I'm not gonna say that. But am I gonna say that it's got something that's keeping it from its greatness? Yes, and that's that
Hmm.
Jersey Clubness that I don't want to hear.
Yeah, and it's also, I think this is just something this is something I realize about myself and I'm self aware about is that my music taste is I'm big into not playing it safe. I'm
Mm,
big into doing sounds that are off the wall and doing very experimental type rap. Like some of my favorite rappers that I listen to in the secular, just to give you some more perspective, I was big into Danny Brown. I was
mm,
big into JPEG Mafia. I was big into that type of sound or stuff that experimented, like Blue. You can name it, right? Like I was just huge into these types of artists. And so whenever you hear this type of project where it's obviously made for radio,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, it just might not just be for me. And that's what
yeah.
I think I've come to the conclusion on. I just don't think it's for me.
I think that for me, since I have an eclectic palette, one that shares something with everyone, even like I used to not be big into alternative. And then
Oh,
over the
dang. Yeah,
last
yeah.
2 years, I've gotten into such a major alternative kick. I started listening to 21 Pilots. I love like, oh my gosh, I have listened to some JPEG Mafia songs. I just like all types of music now. Like
Mm-hmm.
and more it's like I didn't love folk. Now I can listen to some folk music here and there and it's like truly I can say I do have an eclectic palette. I literally like little bits of everything. And so with that in mind it's like you were saying, it's just not my taste. But for me, I know that I can understand and sympathize with people say like you. It's not my taste. Or with people who say, that is my taste. I do like that type of music. Safe
Oh, for
summer
sure.
music. I can sympathize with that. So I think my gripe with the playlist overall is not that it's bad. It's actually quite good. It's just, I think there are a few songs that play it not too safe. I wanted to say too safe, but they're just not good. There are a few songs on there, like there's one with 404 Chew, and
Hmm.
I did not like that song.
I think
I'm
it was
sorry.
DKG Kai or something like
I don't yeah, he's on there, and KJ Kemp, don't like that song. Pepper, it reminds me of a Keyshawn Boone song. Which, speaking of, I don't really like that song either. Pop Out.
that. Hmm.
That's the
With
first.
Big Breeze.
Yeah, I don't really like that song either. Or
I like Big
Who.
Breeze's part on that song.
Big Breeze is he's a good rapper, but I don't know. Like that song just felt underwhelming.
Yeah, for
Even
sure.
though it was so beady and whatever,
Hmm.
like it was obviously going to be a banger vibe. It was trying to go for that, but it went for that too hard to the point where it's like, okay, now you're just being noisy. Can I click skip?
Can I click skip on that joint?
Yeah.
I loved you talking about your music taste, the eclecticness of it. Like, I'm actually very similar. In fact, I have a pretty big record collection. Like, my record, I have 120 records.
Mm,
And if you look at it, it's like all across the board. And I love pop music. I love folk music. Um, and I love jazz and all that stuff, like all that I mentioned prior. I think that's awesome though about music is that you, for example, you have the eclectic taste and you see both ends, and I do too. I just think for me personally though, it's like I don't know what it is. I wish I wasn't like this. I wish I
yeah.
did just like I wish I could just like love everything and just go be a stan on everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's just stuff that just doesn't appeal to my ears, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
I know what you're saying. When I first started, like after I think it was 2020, when I first started listening to like all of Kanye's stuff,
Mm-hmm.
after Jesus is King, I was like, I didn't really feel at first My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. At first I was like, that one's all right. And then like it took a few listens, and at first I felt like what you were saying. Oh, I wish I could just like this.
Yeah,
And the same with Yeezus and all that, but then like it took a few listens and I was like, that's good.
it's good.
But that happens all the time. And by the way, with your records, oh my gosh, I want to be in records. I want to be into
Dude, it's
records.
expensive. Don't do
but
it, bro.
it's
You'll go broke.
expensive.
You'll go broke. Don't do it.
So,
Don't do-
and I already have a huge CD collection, like humongous.
Do you really?
I've already put all of my funding into that, and so I continually put my funding into growing that. I have a lot of CDs. I still need to get a few classic Lecrae CDs like Rebel and Gravity, but I have pretty much from Church Close 3 up, I have all of his CDs. If he
Dang.
releases them. He does. I'm so upset with some of these new Christian rappers,
Talk about it.
not new ones.
Talk about it.
John Keith, bro, just drop some of your stuff. I have to, like, on CD form or even vinyl form for the brothers,
This man's spitting.
I had, in my top 10 CHH albums of all time video, I was using CDs to show off, what the top 10 were.
Yes.
And my John Keith CD, I showed it, and Spiritual Lemonade was in the comments, where did you get that? I'm like, it's a bootleg. Because John wouldn't just drop the CD. Like, if he did, I would have bought it first thing. Same for Grow Wings. I will buy Grow Wings if it comes out. But like,
Yeah, the fact that Eremos doesn't have a vinyl is criminal.
it really is, because that is such a good album.
You know, he did a vinyl for Antihero though.
Did he?
He did it because I remember I saw like a video. He did it under King's Dreams whenever he was with Ruslan.
And that's
Also,
my
that
least
album,
favorite
speaking
album.
of that, Good Religion needs a vinyl as well.
Yeah, classic. A classic
Mhm.
album. Wait, do you love Antihero?
I would say I give that project like a 5. I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10 if I'm being honest.
Okay, me too. Literally same.
A lot of songs on there. I actually like Olympus more than I like Antihero.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's because like you have songs on Olympus like Saul and David.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Oh,
David's like
David.
one of those underrated tracks.
David is so fire. Such
Joey
a
Vantes,
banger.
amazing
Joy,
feature.
in 2017, Joy Vantes was he was the thing. I mean, I loved Joy. Like, I was such a fan of when he changed his name from Joey Jewish, because he originally was Joey Jewish.
Oh, I
That was
didn't know
his
that. So you
name
just dropped some lore on me.
in 2017 and 2018, and think I think 18 was the end of it. He was going by Joey Jewish. That was his name. And then he changed it to Joey Vantes. And I was like the person who was like, I'ma hate this name. I'll never say it right. And now it's like it sounds so normal to say Joey Vantes instead of Joey Jewish. It just feels so weird. But Joey Jewish and Joey Vantes, whatever you want to call him, they're amazing. He's so underrated. People don't appreciate how good that man is at making
Music
music.
that you can drown to. I love that
Oh,
project.
great. He makes good stuff all around. I mean, even he had a single pack. I think it was right before or after that. OVO Sweater. The song OVO Sweater. Do you know that one?
No, I don't know that one.
That's a banger. That song is so hard.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on DSPs.
Oh, dang, I'm gonna have to go check that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it's on. I think the EP. It's on an EP called Legend. Yeah, and it's got a really good. It's got an anthemic hook. Yeah, it's a great song. Let me see. My library was so full of Joey. Honestly, old Joey's better than new Joey. Sorry, but
Speak on it. Speak on it.
but
Speak on it.
but no, he still has bangers even to this day. Like he took his Quarantine Music Deluxe off of streaming.
But he left that one song on though.
He Yeah,
The one with No Big Deal.
he left the EP.
Oh, so there was an album.
There was an album and it had like 15 songs on it and he took it all
Oh, I didn't
off.
know that. That's more lore. Because that's like right around. Because that's right around 2021. Whenever I was
Yeah.
like starting to get into CHH. Like there's records that I wish I would have it on vinyl that dropped here. Like what was it? Low Blow, the one before Low Blow. Goodness gracious, Upper Hand. Yeah,
Excuse me.
Upper Hand. They had a vinyl for Upper Hand apparently, and I just didn't even get. I didn't even know.
Upper Hand, unpopular opinion, I like Upper Hand better than Low Blow.
Do you really?
Just by a little bit.
What does it for you?
I think I said that it was just so musically diverse. Whereas Low Blow is more focused on being boom bap. Upper Hand has everything. And in such a short package too. It's really only got like, I think 8 to 9 full songs and the rest are just like skits or whatever. But in those small songs, you got the hard, you got the boom bap, you got pop, you have it all on that very short album. Whereas with Low Blow, it's more boom bap, and then maybe once in a while you'll have the hard song in Rich or CC or what's the other one? Slidin'. But for the most part, it remained a boom bap record, or more leaning towards boom bap. Not fully.
Oh yeah.
Not like Mike Alvey's Bodega, which...
Yeah, not like that, no.
Which one? I'm curious. Did you like Bodega 1 or 2 better?
To answer your question, I was a bigger fan of Bodega, the first one.
Okay.
Bodega 1 to me was, that project's a classic. And I feel like Bodega 2, with the hype it had so much potential. But obviously where I think they dropped the ball with Bodega 2 is they bloated out the project too much. And then they had too many chefs in the kitchen.
I agree.
So they had like 50,000 features on that Bodega 2 project. And there's just certain ones that shouldn't be on there. Like I love Ty Brazel's individual work, but there's no reason why Ty Brazel or One Few actually did a really good job on his verse on there.
Mm-hmm.
But no reason Ty Brazel should be on there.
Bro,
and really, that's
Ty Brazel's verse was so good.
You like Ty Brazel's
verse? Europeans, and then he goes, but the kids would say you're a peon. Like that's good. I'm sorry, I like that. That was memorable. No, but I agree with you. 100%. Here, I guess this is a slight exclusive for the people. I was always waiting for a Bodega 2 Deluxe to drop, which is why I never officially reviewed the project. But y'all gonna get a kind of official review, 7. Whereas
7?
The first one is an 8.5 out of 10. So the second one is like a 6.5 to 7. Yeah. I think it more leans towards a 7, but it's very close to getting a 6.5. And that's because, like I said, I've said in the past, when I write down scores and all that, I do it with specific numbers. So I'll do like 6.7, 6.8, 6.6. But when I'm actually reviewing and say things, I round to either 7 or 6.5. I don't say the in between because I want to leave that up to the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. If they really like an album, they can go to the higher number.
They can go to the higher. They
If
can
they
use their
don't,
imagination.
if they don't, they can go down. Yeah. I think even like low-key Anthony Fantano does that too, where he does the low to high 8 or, you know.
Yeah, I think I heard him say like a strong 7 or a
Yeah, exactly.
light 8 or light 7. I think he says light or I don't remember
Yeah, he
exactly,
says
but I think it was
light or
something like that.
strong. He did that with Clips's album. He said it's a strong 9 to a 10. Which is funny. I don't know if you heard that project, but the first song on it, listen to it. Just that song. You don't need to listen to the rest.
I'll see if I can find a clean version. Like I said, I haven't listened to like any. It's crazy. I haven't listened to any secular rap since 2021.
Okay.
Like really.
So on the first track, The Birds Don't Sing, there is only one curse word. And it's all the way at the end, and it's underneath Pharrell's vocals. So you can listen to the clean version, and it really won't like it'll take out that word at the end. So, and there is a clean version on digital streaming. But that song's so good because it talks about Pusha T and Malice. Malice is the Christian guy.
Yeah.
He's talking about his last conversation with his father, and Pusha's talking about his last conversation with his mother. And the song is so good. Oh my goodness. And the bars and the beat. Bars and beats. It's just...
Shout out to Bars and Beats.
Yeah, shout out to Bars and Beats. It's just such a good song. That song specifically. Like, if you don't listen to the rest, I understand. And like, honestly, like, you don't need to. But that song by itself, bro, you might shed some tears. It's a good song.
I mean, I was a big fan of Hell Hath No Fury from back in the day with Clips. And I've always been a big Clips. Like, I have a rap line that I wrote personally where I was like, funny how the Clips made me trade Malice, now I push the truth. Like, I was... And so I've always been a big fan of Clips and just in general what they do. And I was... Pusha T, in my opinion, was one of my favorite rappers to listen to, because even though he doesn't really switch up his flow too much, that flow is just like so dynamite. I don't know why anybody would.
It's unique to nobody else. No, I don't know one rapper who I can say sounds like Pusha T. I mean, except maybe for Malice, but that's only because, you know, they're brothers and they literally have a slightly similar voice. But other than that, no, nobody else sounds like Pusha T. It took me a long time to actually get into his type of cadence, right? And understand that. Even like I said with Diet Coke earlier, it took me a while to just like kind of like that. So I'm happy that Lecrae now has hopped on to that type of beat. You know, actually, I forgot to mention this. I am super disappointed with Lecrae on this.
What'd he do?
That Lift Me Up is not on the album. The one with Beam.
Dude, I love that track, but apparently I heard that track, he said he used that as like a reference, or that was supposed to be a track for Kanye on Donda or something like that. You hear something about that?
Yeah. But
I love it though.
But you know what? It's like, if he has H2O on the album, which is a song that's produced by Kanye, why would it be that much trouble to have another song that is also produced by Kanye?
Yeah,
you know?
I completely agree. Like, I think Lift Me Up is... A lot of people... I knew some people who didn't like it, and I was just shocked, because I love that song. That song with Beam is really dang good.
And you know what? I can understand the people who don't really like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know some people who, you know, they said they liked it a lot better than the first single, which is Still Here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh, for this conversation. It was really good.
Yeah, brother.
I'd love to have you back again sometime in the future. But yeah, remember, there's only two things I know. I know that Jesus is king and that JT, moi, knows best. See you guys next time.